Blog Talk Radio.
Stone Guardian, Crystal Keeper, Gin Lovers and Rockhounds. Welcome to There's a Rock for That.
Hello, and welcome to There's a Rock for That. I am your host, Mary Brown, on the Psychic Talk Radio Network, coming to you live today from Amarillo, Texas. And I think this is going to be a pretty fun show today. We're going to be talking about crystal meditation. You can call in for a free mini crystal reading. And, if you want to call in for a free mini crystal reading, the number to call is 714-816-4628. That number again is 714-816-4628. Be sure to press the number 1 on your dial pad because that raises your hand and I can find you easily on the switchboard. And if you don't want to be on the air and you just want to listen in on your phone, you can do that by calling that same number, 714-816-4628. Also, you can post comments and even ask your reading questions or any questions you might have about our topic today on our Psychic Talk Radio page for today's show. And there's a chat room right under the player on that show. Well, it's under the player. The tip jar is under the player, and under the tip jar is the chat area there. And all of our promotions today, I think, have those links on it. The easiest way to find the chat room for the show is to go to, this is my easiest way to do it. You go to psychictalk.net. What I do is I click on the upcoming shows link. You can go to psychictalk.net/upcoming shows. You'll see today's show as the top show. You click on that, it takes you right to the show page, and then you find a chat room underneath the player in the tip jar. Okay. So we have the logistics out of the way, I think. And I wanted to share the card of the day that I posted today in our Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group. If you haven't joined the group yet, join the group. We have a page and we have a group. You can find that easily by going to psychictalk.net/Facebook. Like the page, join the group. And I post a lot of cards in there. And today's card was intentionally drawn. I didn't draw this at random, okay? But it is the Apophyllite card because that's our featured crystal for the month of September. And it comes from the Eternal Crystals Oracle Cards by beautiful artwork by Jane Marin. And the message on the card, you see some keywords on the card: connect, third eye, and crown chakras. Yes, that the Apophyllite is well known for being a great connection stone, connecting to the higher realms, connecting to your higher self, and working with your third eye and crown chakras as well. And so you can see that card in there. Just looking through the little book that comes and see if there's a specific message. So Jade Sky's message for Apophyllite for that card is Apophyllite's healing energy has come to you to strengthen your natural psychic ability. It also bestows you with great mental clarity to connect with higher guidance from your spirit guides and angels. Notice the intricate connection between the physical and spiritual worlds. Calm and ground yourself so that you can hear, sense, and feel your spirit guides and angels more clearly. And also helps you clear any negativity and self-doubt so that you will be able to let the positive energy shine in your life. So that's really a lovely message, and really touches upon a lot of the things that we associate with apophyllite. And so you can see that card on our Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group. And I also, before I get into the topic and everything, I wanted to talk about other things that I posted today on the Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group. So along with the card of the day for Apophyllite, I also posted a Apophyllite meditation that from YouTube. It's a YouTube link. And that particular one is using a crystal singing bowl. I think this is from what is it called? The Temple of Sound, the Temple of Crystals. It's in Sedona, right? Of course. Of course it's in Sedona. But it's beautiful just hearing the sound of the Apophyllite crystal bowl, which is also enhanced with, I think, some gold that got the aura, aspect to it. And it is really lovely, and that is one example, because we're going to be talking about meditating with our stones, with crystals today. I think a lot of us hear that mentioned all the time, even when you're just looking through associated properties or metaphysical meanings of different stones. Oftentimes, meditation comes up, but, nobody really talks about how to do that. What does that mean, and are there different approaches to it? Because, as we well know, not everybody is going to sit there cross-legged and doing some transcendental meditation. We all have different approaches. Some people, haven't really got into it yet. So the crystal bowl one, where it's just the sound of the crystal singing bowl, is one example. If you search on YouTube or Google Apophyllite meditations, you're going to find a plethora of them. And a lot of them are guided meditations posted by various people who are in, fellow crystal guardians out there and rock lovers that have made their own different guided meditations with Apophyllite, or for Apophyllite. So if the singing bowl doesn't, float your boat, you might find that one of those guided meditations will. So, that's an easy way to explore, especially if you don't have the stone yourself. Now, Apophyllite is, all over the place. It's generally has been a pretty easy stone to get a specimen of. A lot of rock shops carry Apophyllite. You can find, tons of it online. It's not something it's not a stone that's rare, really. But I've also posted a picture of my favorite piece of Apophyllite, which is a bigger piece. What's really nice, especially when we're talking about meditating with Apophyllite, is, you can get these little individual little pyramids of Apophyllite. It naturally forms in this pyramid shape, so they're generally not carved. Usually it's just like cut out of the stone matrix. And the one that I posted, you can see like little pyramid crystals all over it. But those individual little pyramid Apophylites are really, reasonably priced. They're not going to cost you an arm and a leg. They're just going to cost you a couple bucks generally. And they're great to have to meditate. You don't need a big specimen like I have. And I don't know, I think we've mentioned this a few times. The size of the stone doesn't really matter so much, because a lot of what we do with crystals, we're connecting to the energy of the stone, and also some feel, some believe. I'm kind of in that school that we're also trying to connect to the deva of the stone. You might say the angel of the stone, the fairy of the stone. You'll see this, explained in the oversoul of the stone. There's a lot of different terms out there. And, they generally, people were talking about the same thing, the spirit of the stone. And one way that I like to meditate with crystals and connect to the Davic energy or the spirit of the stone is to look for a representation of it in the stone. Sometimes it's a face, sometimes it's a figure, sometimes it's it doesn't have to be anthropomorphized, right? It can be a plant, it can be an animal, it can be just something that you see in the stone that catches your eye, and you focus on that and look at it deeper and deeper and deeper. And with apophyllite especially, you try to connect to that. Try to connect to see what comes to mind. What messages might there be for you? We haven't talked about that a lot. That'll be an upcoming episode where we'll talk about getting messages from your crystals. That's something we talk a lot about with angels. We talk a lot about that with fairies. Crystals, we haven't really gotten into that too much, and that's something we'll talk about in the future. But I did post another picture. I posted one picture of the apophyllite piece that I have with me here today, and also I posted this face that I saw. I tried to outline it. I was using my phone, camera editing app, and it's really hard for me to draw with that. They have a feature where you can draw, but it's really hard. So I tried to sort of illustrate what I was talking about. So again, all of those posts you can see in our Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group. Check it out. I'd love to hear what you see. I'd love to hear if you're picking up what I'm throwing down, if you're doing some of the same things, or maybe you have a different technique for meditating with stones, or maybe you've had a different experience with apophyllite. I'd love to hear it. Always, I will check all the comments posted on anything I post on Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group. So that's a great way to connect with me. Okay, so. And again, we will be taking calls. I already see some folks lining up on the switchboard here, and I see you, and I will get to you shortly. And thank you so much for hanging in there and listening. Okay, so let's just talk about some basics about apophyllite before we start taking calls, and then after we take some calls, then we'll get more into the meditation techniques. But apophyllite, like one of my favorite crystal experts out there, the crystal goddess Judy Hall, has some great things about apophyllite in her. I think this is like the first book of her Crystal Bible series. And, apophyllite you can find in different colors. Clear white is pretty common. That's the pieces that I have are clear white ones. There's also green ones, yellowish ones, and peach ones. Now, the apophyllite singing bowl meditation that I posted on the Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group is actually that crystal singing bowl is made out of green apophyllite, and I think enhanced with gold to give it that aura quality. And so they, like I said, they're pyramid-shaped crystals. Some of them are cubic as well. They can be transparent. They can be opaque. You can have anything from small single crystals, like I was talking about, those little single pyramids, to really large clusters, like mine is a larger. It's readily available, sourced from a lot of different places. You can find it in Britain, Australia, India, Brazil, the Czech Republic, Italy. I mean, there's just, again, it's an abundant mineral. And what Judy says about it, she talks about it having high water content, which makes it really a great conductor of energy and a carrier of the Akashic record. Now, if you don't know what the Akashic record is, it's like an esoteric record of all that has occurred and will occur, including past life information. So a lot of times you'll hear people about talking about I want to read my Akashic record, or I want somebody else to do it. That's what they're talking about. It's all this information about what's happened and will happen and is happening, about your life, your soul, really, because it goes into past lives. Now, and just having a big piece of apophyllite in a room, right? Like this big piece that I, posted the picture of on the Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group, is one that I keep in the living room. And so what that does, just its presence in the room enhances the energies, because it's got this powerful vibrational transmitter. And apophyllite creates a conscious connection between the physical and spiritual realms, right? So if you're doing out-of-body journeying, whether that's shamanic journeying or, other forms of doing it, apophyllite's a great stone to work with because it helps keep the connection between the physical body, allowing the information to be transmitted from the spiritual realm into the physical. It also is great at keeping you grounded, too, during something like that, because you can feel a little floaty, right? If anybody knows what I'm talking about out there, when you're doing, even when you're doing shamanic journeying or when you're doing out-of-body, meditations, you can start feeling a little bit floaty, and so you want to make sure you've got that grounded element to things as well. And again, just like the Jade Sky says in her Eternal Crystals Oracle deck, it enhances your psychic vision. So clear sight, it stimulates your intuition. Judy Hall goes so far as to say that it enables the future to be accessed, and that it's an excellent stone for scrying. And so scrying, I feel, did I do an episode on scrying yet? Did we talk about scrying yet? If not, we'll get to it, right? But so scrying is kind of like a little bit like scrying, that other photo that I posted that has the face that I see in the stone. When you look at a crystal and you did try to see something in the crystal itself, or a vision that the crystal gives you while staring at the stone, but it's not exactly staring. Again, we'll get to scrying later. Maybe that's what we'll talk about for October. So on the psychological level, apophyllite promotes introspection into one's own behavior, okay? And the correction of imbalances or flaws that are perceived. It abandons pretense and puts down reserve. This is a stone of truth, bringing the recognition of one's true self and allowing that to be shown to the world. You don't want to hide your true self, right? Mentally, apophyllite has a calming effect. It is an effective stress reducer. It helps you release mental blockages and negative thought patterns. And it does have the effect of reducing desire, right? For my Buddhist peeps out there, you get yourself a piece of apophyllite. You're always trying to get rid of desire. This is a stone that is known for doing that. At the spiritual level, apophyllite tends to kind of, bring this idea of universal love into your decision-making process and your analysis, so that your mind, when you're making decisions, is more attuned to spirit instead of ego. Okay? That's always good. We see a lot of examples in our world of people making decisions based on their own ego. I'll just leave it at that. Just think about it, right? And apophyllite can, on the emotional level, can also help release suppressed emotions. It can help you overcome anxiety, worries, and fears, calms the sense of apprehension you may have, and allows uncertainty to be tolerated. Okay, so that's I love the way that Judy Hall phrases things. Allowing uncertainty to be tolerated. That's something to really kind of think about, right? Because we life is full of uncertainty, as we all know very well, and I think fear comes from this lack of tolerance of that uncertainty. Even the greatest, bestest, psychic on the planet, the ones that claim to be 100% all of the time, I see all, not that I believe those claims, but there's people out there that make those claims. And let's say, for example, that one of those people is actually like really, spot on about it, There's those psychics and anybody else, even though it doesn't have to be a psychic. It could be like the most knowledgeable, intelligent person you know on the face of the planet. Somebody that you think, I trust them, they're always right. Nobody's always right, and nobody always knows everything that's going to happen. All of us, every single one of us deals with uncertainty. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to not know what's going to happen, right? But it's just a part of life. It's what makes, the journey, I think, in life is that uncertainty. So if we can get comfortable with that, then we can, release the fears that we have around it and just be, looking forward to what's around the next corner. And that might be a funny thing to say for somebody who does a lot of divination like me, right? It's like, well, if you're so into that, then why even, do any readings on anything? And, it's not about that. I've never felt that divination, tarot card reading, scrying, working with crystals, whatever your favorite flavor is, I have never felt that is about getting rid of all uncertainty out of life and trying to 100% know everything that's going to happen. Because it's like that's above our pay grade. That's God. That's God's lookout. Whatever God may be to you. If it's the bearded guy in the sky, if it's the grand ocean of divinity, as our president of the Tarot Guild, Dax Carlisle, often says, which I love that. Life is full of surprises, and nothing is ever set in stone. And just when you think you know exactly how everything's going to play out, a butterfly flaps its wings in South America and changes the game. Okay, maybe not exactly like that. Okay, so other things that are terrific about Apophyllite here. She talks about healing with Apophyllite, and I'm going to talk about, with the things that she mentions, because really, Judy Hall, she's the goddess. And I trust her, in a lot of things that she has written, especially in her Crystal Prescriptions book series. You've got to check that out. But I do want to preface talking about healing with crystals and just give a little bit of a caution or a disclaimer a little bit out there before we talk about it. In no way, shape, form, or anything do I ever recommend crystal healing as a replacement or in lieu of mainstream medicine. I feel like it is a wonderful complement to it. Okay? I feel like if you have a serious medical situation, serious medical issue that you need healing for, see the appropriate licensed professional and take your stones with you or work with your stones after or before your appointment. They really can be wonderful healing helpers for us, but I think to try to replace, practical medical advice from a licensed practitioner with just crystals, I don't think you're doing yourself any favors, and I really don't think that is fair to the crystals or the crystal devas either. Okay, they work at a different vibration that we do. They work at a different pace than we do ultimately. And so our little ego demands it, like, here, crystal, fix me. That's just not cool. And I feel like that's a violation of the relationship with your crystal to put that unfair amount of expectation on it. So, that's just my take on it. But let's talk about the healing properties that Judy Hall refers to when it comes to Apophyllite. Okay, so, she talks about it being, and this I totally agree with, and I have used it for this as well, as being an exceptional stone when it comes to Reiki healing. So Reiki is a form of energy healing. If you're already a Reiki practitioner, or you are somebody who is going to get a Reiki treatment, Apophyllite is terrific, to bring with you to your Reiki treatment. And for Reiki healers, practitioners out there, add Apophyllite to your toolbox there, because it really is a terrific stone for that, because it helps the patient get into a deeper state of relaxation and receptiveness. And we all know as healers that all the symbols in the world, right, especially when we're talking about Reiki, because a lot of us that do Reiki, work with symbols. All the symbols in the world are not going to do anything if the person that you're doing Reiki on is not receptive to it, if they're not open to healing, if they're not going to accept the healing that's being offered, then they might as well have stayed home. Okay, so, having Apophyllite helps somebody relax more and be receptive, because what happens a lot of times is that this lack of acceptance or being receptive happens on, I think sometimes it happens on sort of a subconscious level, because a person they book the healing session and they go in, and yet, whether it's fear, whether it's uncertainty, for whatever reason, they're kind of blocking it on a subconscious level. They're not intentionally trying to do it. So having some Apophyllite can be really helpful with clients like that they truly want to have the benefits of an energy healing session, especially a crystal healing session or a Reiki healing session. But Apophyllite will help them, give them that extra little bit of help that they need to really let that healing energy come in and help them. Okay, and so very helpful with Reiki, and the other aspect of that, I'm talking about the client and receptivity and acceptance, that kind of stuff. Let's talk about the healer, too, because all of us, I'm a crystal Reiki master, all of us, no matter what level we are, no matter how long we've been doing it, every once in a while, because we're human beings, believe it or not, every once in a while, we can kind of get in the way a little bit ourselves as healers, because we want to help people so badly. We want the treatments to be effective, and we've got to kind of, just like when we do readings of any type, you got to drop your ego at the door, because it's not about you. It's never about you. And as healers, especially with Reiki, especially with crystal healing, we're the facilitator. We are the conduit for the energies to flow through and to go to the client. And Apophyllite is really helpful by just kind of taking us out of the way, so the transmission of healing energy for the patient is a bit purer. It doesn't, we're not in the way of that. I think a lot of healers that might listen to this, kind of understand what I'm saying. And this part I found interesting. Judy says Apophyllite works on the respiratory system, and when held to the chest, right, it can, wow. She says it can stop an asthma attack, and that it can neutralize allergies. It can neutralize allergies and promote the regeneration of the mucous membranes and the skin. Placing an Apophyllite crystal on each eye rejuvenates eyes. Apophyllite is especially useful in healing matters of the spirit and in helping the spirit to come to terms with being in a physical body. Now, that's something I think we hear a lot of in metaphysical circles. You hear a lot of it, especially from our star seeds out there. People that feel like uncomfortable in their physical body. It's like, no, I'm a star being. This strange flesh vehicle is very uncomfortable for me. Get some Apophyllite if that's your deal. Try it out. I'm not guaranteeing that, any of this stuff is, again, if you've got allergies, see your allergy doctor. If you got respiration issues, mucus problems, all the things, eye problems, go to those doctors. But you know what? Have your own Apophyllite in your little toolbox healing kit at home and try that stuff out. Sometimes the way crystals work in conjunction with mainstream medicine is that it can help accelerate the process. And in a big way, it can really help us, with our feelings about it, with our emotions about it. When we're dealing with some sort of ailment, it's a real emotional roller coaster, So those are the healing properties that she talks about. And she talks about positioning, like if you are able to get a single Apophyllite pyramid, place it on the third eye when channeling or meditating and when scrying. Look into the crystal from the corner of the eye. See, she gives us a little hint about scrying there. And again, we'll talk about scrying in the future. And with the different colors of stones, with the different colors of Apophyllite, take all of these general properties and add to it. If it's a green Apophyllite, it's going to activate the heart chakra and promote a forthright heart, especially, again, when it comes to making decisions, this time in matters of the heart. And the pyramids are just a pyramid shape, too. It's just a powerful energizer. Okay, so when we have different colored stones, use your chakra system. The green stones connect to the heart. Okay, the light clear ones connect to the crown and the third eye. But the purple, the indigo, that whole thing we've talked about a lot on the show. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and we're already at the bottom of the hour here. I'm going to tell you what is coming up on the Psychic Talk Radio Network, and then we're going to go to the phone lines and see what is going on the phone lines. But first, what's coming up on the Psychic Talk Radio Network this week? Our next show is Monday, September 6th. At 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, it's the Wisdom of the Soul Show with your host, Janice Fuchs. And after that, the Friday, September 10th show, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, Spiritual Guidance Radio, and it's the 3-year anniversary episode for the Spiritual Guidance Radio host, angelic channel and healer Catherine Hahn. So that's really exciting. Congratulations, Catherine. She's going to be doing free on-air guidance, and again, that's Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern is kind of our evening show, which is kind of cool. And then I'll be back next Saturday, September 11th, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern on the Tarot Today radio show with my co-host, Dex Carlisle. We'll be doing tarot readings and open lines all show long. And then on Sunday, September 12th, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, it's the Magic Universe show with your host, Sharona Rapsick. She's going to be talking the tarot full card and about her new and exciting and totally charming Boho Pixie Tarot. We actually have one of our wonderful members, the long-time, brilliant advisor and all-around terrific gal, Sharona Rapsick, is making her own tarot deck. I am so excited for her. This is such an exciting thing for the Tarot Guild as well. So give her a shout-out next Sunday, September 12th. Call into her show and congratulate her on creating her own deck. She's going to be also doing free tarot mini readings and open lines on her show as well. Okay, so that is everything that's coming up this week on the Psychic Talk Radio Network, and you can find that list of shows so you don't miss out on any of them by going to psychictalk.net/upcoming. Okay, let's go ahead and take our first caller here and see what it is that they want to talk about. Okay, who has been waiting the longest here? And that is area code 269. Area code 269, caller, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello, how are you?
Great. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Pam. I'm calling from Michigan.
From Michigan. What do you want to talk about today, Pam?
How does this work? I mean, is it just any topic I choose, or do you come up with something?
Any topic on the planet? No. We're talking about Apophyllite and crystal meditations. Anything about rocks is fine. But also, if you just want a free mini reading on a specific question, that's fine, too. We'll do a crystal mini reading.
Well, it's been very informative. I have a lot of stones. I've never heard of this particular one. I kind of lost touch with my learning on the subject, so I'm glad I tuned in. I would love to know about what's coming in my love life.
What's coming in your love life? Let's
or
look
is
at that.
here if there's somebody already interested, but yeah, something like that.
Okay, so you want to know what's coming up with the person that's already interested, or
no,
are you looking for...
Just anything, yeah, anything that will come up.
Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay, so what do we see when it comes to your love life? I'm going to pull
And you're using a crystal deck for this? Sorry.
Yeah, okay, so I'm using crystal dice for this.
Oh.
So that's really different. Huh. And also I'll pull a since it's a love life question, I have this adorable little angel love note deck too. So we'll pull one of those too because that's they give advice. So let's see what comes up in the dice, because I feel like the dice are more objective. You know, they don't already have a pre-recorded message. You know. And each of the dice, just in case you haven't, you're not familiar with it, and you like crystals, each of the dice that I have are a different crystal,
Oh.
And so, something like a love life, right? I'm going to be looking for the heart chakra stones. Where do they come up? What numbers, because it uses numerology as well, are associated with that? And to me, out of these stones, the rose quartz is definitely the one speaking to love life, and it comes up as a number 6, along with the clear quartz as a number 6 as well. And 6s, to me, are about harmony. They're about generosity, but it's also a good news thing when you get 2 6s like that. So we got good news coming up on the love life front here. The clear quartz, especially, what that is talking about. Now, here's the thing. Clear quartz is like famously known as being programmable, okay? And so I don't know how far you've gotten into, like, working with crystals and stuff, but, so the idea of programming crystals, okay, is with working with intention and saying, like, okay, this crystal is going to help me with whatever, in this case, love life or something, right? And you hold the stone, you put your intention into it, and then you've programmed that stone that's the crystal you're going to use for that particular thing you programmed it for. What the message here, though, is saying, because I got 3 1s as well. Oh, we got a tiger eye, we got green aventurine, and obsidian. So, all of these ones coming up is telling me when it comes to love life, I want you to take the initiative, okay? Now, that doesn't mean you've got to, be asking out everybody, right? That's not what I mean by taking the initiative, right? Because who wants to really do that, right? Not most of us don't. But it is about taking the initiative. What can you do on your end? And I think what this is saying is program it. Okay, how do I program my love life? How do I program, somebody great to come into my love life? Well, it's working a little bit with what some people call the law of attraction. You want to specifically, visualize, or however, if you're not into visualization, but you want to have that thought. I want whatever it is, I want a partner that is going to be supportive and nurturing and that we're going to be a real team. That could be an example. People are looking for different things in relationships. The sixes are about harmony, right? So you can do that work. That's what the crystals are saying here is take the initiative by programming that in. What do you want that relationship to be like? How do you want to feel? How do you want, this to, look in a sense to you? What does this look like? Only you can kind of answer those questions, not now on the air, of course, but later on, when you have some time, put your focus there. And I think that that's the majority of what these stones are saying here. I do have a couple threes that come up here with amethyst being a main one here. And oddly enough, also another obsidian. And so, to me, threes are about creativity and networking. It's going to be really difficult to have, the right person come in unless we're, one, open to it, and two, are making connections. And that's what those 2 threes are about. The amethyst in particular is talking about doing this without, how do I say this? With using your intuition for one thing, going with the people that you have a gut feeling about. Pay attention to your gut feelings, but also no anxiety, no nervousness, no apprehension. And I know that sounds crazy to say those things, but, sometimes we do get nervous. We do get nervous when we're, looking for a potential love interest or we're meeting somebody new. And as much as we can just put all that away and just kind of be cool, be chill, be like the amethyst, The obsidian coming up a couple of times here is kind of interesting because it does talk about fears, and again, just releasing anything that's like a hidden fear under the surface. And you might say, well, how do I do that if it's hidden? One way is working with crystals, but also, just self-exploration a little bit. And anytime, when we talk about trusting our gut, it's not just on a metaphysical level, but also on a physical level. So if, we feel kind of queasy or, our stomach is doing flip-flops about something, breathe it in, breathe it out, and see what it's about. See what comes to mind. No judgment at all from yourself, because the worst thing is to judge yourself, right? And lastly, the last thing that the stones want to talk about here is this 5 red jasper. It's about grounding and being realistic and needing to be practical and to feel safe and secure and those kind of things. The 5 can talk about challenges or conflicts around that. Red jasper is a great, what we call root chakra stone that helps us to feel grounded. So I think that those things are just kind of like probably things that we should do anyways when we're looking to enhance our love life or to have somebody new come in or something good happen. So I feel like generally this looks pretty good, but it does matter what you do. It does matter that you're open. It does matter that you try to program that in, using the law of attraction if that's your thing, or just, visualizing, focusing, and bringing it in and saying, like, look, I want a partner. Because what I hear from a lot of clients is, I'm afraid I'm going to be alone, which, and I look at that and I think, like, just stop saying that, like, stop saying you're going to make it happen, So we want to, like, focus on what we want instead of what we're afraid of, okay?
Mhm. Is this about somebody new or somebody existing?
I'll tell you what, with 3 1s here, that to me is talking about the new. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a new person. This could be a new phase with someone, right? And then I said I'd pull a love note card for you, and it's this cute little oracle deck called Love Notes. Let's see what comes up on your love life from the Love Note card. Love is strong, and the number 9, which may indicate September. This is September.
Wow. This September?
Yeah. Is it right? This is September. It's kind of funny with this particular deck. A lot of times when you get like timing, right, from like a tarot reading or something, tarot readers have different techniques for timing, and a lot of times it'll be like, oh, that's days, weeks, months, or whatever. With this particular deck, it's a 9. It says it may. I'll read this to you. It's so funny. It may indicate September, the 9th of a month. Completion, because 9s are connected to completing a cycle. 9 months, weeks, or 9 years may be significant to you. Wow. I was like, how is that helpful? I'm not sure. It's like I've drawn a number card from this deck. I forgot that they even had numbers, and I'm surprised. It's like they covered it. But, again, the only indication that I get that this might be somebody new coming in are all those 1s coming up with the crystal dice. So I think that's very possible. But then we had 2 3s talking about, it may have to do with your connections, do some networking, connecting to others. I feel like this is somebody new.
Okay. Good.
And
and it's coming in 9 years?
Like,
no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, 9 years from now, just post back if we're still on the air and let us know. No, I don't really have a particular confidence level in the timing with that deck, because I just haven't used it for timing. But I would go with September. It's September now. See what happens, and then if not, see what happens in 9 months, and then 9 days, and I just I'm not going to really even give out anything on the timing for real, though. I just feel like it's more, it's less about saying, like, okay, it's going to happen on September 9th, and it's more about saying, like, look, let's do all those other things, that the crystals did speak to, let's make sure we're ready for it. Let's make sure we feel grounded and solid, and that we don't have any fears connected with this. And so, another thing about that is a lot of times, we learn a lot from experience, right? And that's a good thing. It informs us, and it, helps us become who we are, and, forms our attitudes, all of those things. When it comes to love life, so often any type of perceived bad experience from the past can sometimes, make its way into being having an effect on a potential new relationship. Somebody will just say like a word, that somebody in a past relationship used to use all the time, and we're like, I'm not going there. I want nothing to do with that. So, just an example of ways that it can seep in. Because when we talk about fear, I think, all of us are sort of resistant to it. It's like, I'm not afraid. I ain't no sissy girl, but we don't realize that it comes in different forms, So that's just one other little thing I would like to say, to kind of consider out there as, you're chucking along in your love life. If you just feel like, that kind of apprehensive feeling, try to remember the things that came up in this reading, and always work with your crystals.
Mhm. Good.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Call back in the future, sooner than 9 years, of course, and let us know how it's going.
What is the name of your group again?
The Psychic Talk Radio group on Facebook. And you can go to psychictalk.net is our /Facebook, and it takes you right to that, to our Facebook group and page. Or you can just look up Psychic Talk Radio on Facebook.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Bye. Okay. That was awesome. Now let's go ahead and see who has been waiting the longest now, and take that call, and we'll talk. Yeah, we have time for maybe one or two more calls, and then we'll talk a little bit about meditation. Our next call is from, where'd it go? Wow, my hand on the switchboard is like doing weird things. Okay, here we go. Our next call is from area code 630. Area code 630. Caller, are you there?
I am. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Dion, and I'm calling from Illinois.
From Illinois. And you said Dion or Eon?
Yeah, Dion.
Dion. I thought you said Dion. I'm like, what's an eon? Isn't that like an epoch or period of time? Okay, so Dion, what do you want to talk about today?
Okay, so I bought a Shiva, I think it's called Shiva Lingo.
Lingo. Yeah.
Shiva
Lingo.
And I brought it home and I put it in my hand and I said, I want to get rid of what no longer serves me, including this apartment that I'm in. And literally 3 days later, I was out of my old lease and into a new one.
Perfect.
So I was super grateful that it worked so fast. But now that I'm moving, I'm having a hard time detaching from some things, eliminating them, and I can't understand why. Yeah.
Okay. So things, are they things, or are they people, or are they relationships?
No, it's like I'm going through my apartment, because I'm so excited I get to move, and obviously I have an opportunity to start throwing away old clothes and old makeup, and I find myself, in fear of well, I could use it someday because, I'm having a hard time parting with things, and I don't know I've been
why
working
that
with
is.
different crystals. Yeah, I don't know why that is, and I want to take advantage of being able to, not have to move things that no longer serve me, but I just haven't been able to muster up the strength to eliminate, and I don't detach.
To let go, to detach, yeah. Wow. Okay, so look, it sounds to me like you know what to do. Like you can read, like you probably have read, like what crystals will help me with letting go of what no longer serves me, right? What will help me with
I haven't.
You haven't? Hey,
no,
what do you mean you haven't? Yeah, okay. So let's start with that. Okay. The Shiva Lingam, I love those stones. And they can help us in a lot of ways. And you got that's just a terrific stone to have. When it comes to letting go of things, right? There are crystals that can. There's all kinds of crystals that can help us with letting go of what doesn't serve us. I would suggest working with some that are good for helping to clear energy as well, because you're leaving the place, right? And you're literally clearing out the place in order to do that, and you're having difficulty with the attachment, you could say, that you have to a lot of different things, right? And, being attached to things, it's emotion and stuff, but it's also energy. So that's where I would start. I would start with some stones that are good at energy clearing, okay? I think that also, black tourmaline is a good one, for one thing, okay? I don't know, do you have any black tourmaline? Have you heard of it?
I do. I have like 2 pieces of it. Nice
Terrific.
ones too. So
nice ones. I love that. Yeah, because we do think of it that way, right? It's like this one. Here's my good one. I'm wearing my good stone today. But black tourmaline is the first thing that just pops into my head, and that's terrific that you have 2 good pieces, because that's great at clearing energy, of all kinds, even electromagnetic energy, right? And even like negative thoughts, that we might have, and helps promote, helps us to be rational. Not saying that you're not rational, but the way that we get attached to things sometimes that we don't want to let go of, that we aren't even using, that's not even doing anything for us, it has a little bit to do with that. So, as far as the crystals go, that's definitely a stone I would work with. And there's so many different stones. What do you have on hand, stone-wise? Or do you have
I have a lot. I have a lot. I have moonstone, pyrite, clear quartz, smoky quartz. Smoky quartz might be pretty good too. Rose quartz, amethyst.
Well, clear quartz especially, take one. I'm sure you have more than one piece of clear quartz, right? Take one of your pieces of clear quartz and program it, like I was talking with the last caller, program the stone to be your letting go stone, or your, clearing things that no longer serve me stone, and work with that. You can program clear quartz for anything, and you know how to program your stone, right? It's so simple. It's intention. We're working with the intention. This stone is going to be my clearing stone, my house moving stone, however, you want to put that. When I did a mini crystal reading for you here, and the advice that comes up here three twos that come up here, and obsidian being one of them, and clear quartz being the other. And do you have tiger eye?
I do have tiger eye.
Okay, work with your tiger eye as well, because it's got this really great, it's such a terrific solar plexus chakra stone, right? And tiger eye, the eye of the tiger, get into that energy when you're approaching this, because you play the song from Rocky, get into that kind of like powerful solar plexus energy that's going to help you just like hit the ground running, clearing out your apartment. You're not even going to give things a second thought, the things that you don't need, right? And, look, and finally, little rose quartz comes up here as a 5. Rose quartz, beautiful heart chakra, emotional, loving, healing, nurturing stone, and coming up as a 5. 5 to me show like we've got a little bit of challenge involved with that. So even though you want out of that place, you went out of the old into the new, making all these big, changes, it's a big change. Even if it's just a short move across town, leaving our apartment behind, that's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It is. Thank you for saying that.
And it really is. And so we've got to, be kind to ourselves. We've got to be gentle with ourselves. We've got to say, like, it's okay to feel this way, and even if it doesn't seem logical that I feel this way or that I'm having a hard time with this, it's really okay for me to feel that way. So have that love and support of your rose quartz. If you've got a rose quartz hanging around, program your clear quartz. This is my we're going to get out of here stone. You're going to help me, you're going to be my stone for letting go of this stuff. And the eye of the tiger eye that lets you just like, we're gonna Rocky our way through this.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I really gained a lot from your reading.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for calling Dion from Illinois, and bright blessings to you with this whole big change. I'm excited for you, and I hope you call back in the future and let us know how it goes.
I sure will. Thank you.
All right. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are pretty much out of time. It's kind of the end of the show. I feel like I did talk a lot about, meditating with crystals. Again, there's like numerous of ways to approach this, just sitting with your crystal. The other thing I did want to mention before I go is doing a crystal layout for meditation. So say that you already have your, favorite method of meditation. Like for you, it may be shamanic journeying, it may be transcendental meditation, the old TM style. Whatever it is, do it with crystals as well. And the easiest way to do that, 2 things that I just want to throw out there, 2 great ways to work with crystals when you're meditating is, 1, use your favorite form of meditation, like I just said. If you have some amethyst, cheap, abundant, lots of pieces of amethyst probably that you have or you should have, you could get like 10 pieces, put them around your body. So you're laying out in your favorite meditation mat, pillow, or just on your bed or it's harder in a chair, really, with keeping the stones. But with amethyst, you want to put them like just around you, like you're outlining your body, outlining your aura, right? And go through your meditation, but you've got this amethyst enhanced meditation. You're going to feel some good vibrations. You might even get some psychic insights as well, trying that. There's no particular instructions for how to do that. Just what I said, you put the stones around your body, right? They don't have to be touching you. They don't have to be on you, within your auric field. So let's say within a foot of your physical body. and all around. And the second thing is do a layout. Do a crystal layout when you're doing your meditation. So I like to do a chakra layout. So I'm using the colors of the rainbow for the chakra system, a stone in each of those colors. Generally, clear quartz on the crown chakra is what I like to do. Amethyst or iolite is a nice one, or even lapis lazuli on the third eye, whatever your favorite third eye stone is. And going down, a nice blue stone, maybe sodalite, maybe angelite, maybe blue lace agate on the throat chakra. On the heart, you could use green aventurine, green quartz. You could use rose quartz. Kunzite is another beautiful pink stone. And going down to the solar plexus chakra, one of your beautiful yellow stones. Tiger eye is one of my favorite. Yellow jasper is a nice one too. Citrine, sunstone, solar plexus, and then going down to the sacral chakra, you want to use your orange stones. Orange calcite is really nice. Carnelian is really nice for the sacral chakra. Finally, the root chakra, red jasper, any of our red stones, any of our dark stones, even like a black obsidian is fine on the root chakra. And the other thing that I would say that I kind of like to do, I like to also work with the soul star chakra. And say that's about 6 inches above your head. You might use apophyllite up there, one of your really higher spiritual stones, and then beneath your feet, one of your really your favorite grounding stone for the earth star chakra. And just do that layout on your body, on the chakra points, above and below, while you're doing your favorite meditation technique, and you're going to see an enhanced benefit from all those wonderful energies of those stones, along with the benefits of meditation as well. And those are just a couple of the many, many different ways that we can meditate. All for joining me today. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend, and I will be back next Saturday on the Tarot Today radio show. If you want to tune in for that, and there's a rock for that. We'll be back again in October, the first Saturday of October. We do the first Saturday of every month, and I will see you all on the flip side. Have a good one, everybody. And bye-bye.